The virus is underscored for Hong Kong, getting back to the sort of enduring issues with Hong Kong have been that there is something called one country, two systems is the structure. And the idea was that when Hong Kong became part of the People's Republic of China, it would benefit from becoming part of a big country on the rise. But it would be protected from it wouldn't lose the things that made it special. So this is a year of the rat. It's just begun. And it's a very consequential year of the rat. The last year of the rat was also a very consequential year, 2008. And it had its disaster and the earthquake, but it also had the Olympic Games. And the Beijing Olympics, I think, was a time when being part of one country was a plus to a lot of people in Hong Kong. And there are even Hong Kongers now, young Hong Kongers, who are adamant participants in the protests, and even some of the ones who say, don't think of me as Chinese, think of me as a Hong Konger, who remember kind of, and they sometimes are sort of musing on this, that they were really excited when the Olympic Games were coming to China. And they felt that that reflected well on them, that they could take pride in that. And Beijing, I think, played the Olympics beautifully in this sense, because the big events were in Beijing that we focused on, but Hong Kong's a special place. The equestrian events were held there. So Hong Kong people got to kind of ride some of the crest of that. And in some ways, the two systems part seemed to be working out okay around 2008 in Hong Kong. In 2003, there was an effort to bring in a new sedition law.
Anti-sedition.
Anti-sedition law, right. And there were giant protests. And at that point, the government listened to the people sing, and they withdrew the bill. So around 2008, you had this thing, well, okay, two systems seem to be working.
That was right after SARS, actually.
Right after
so
SARS.
They had been kind of burned for their management of
So they had
SARS.
like some protection in this way. So you had that, but now, being part of one country, if your official doesn't listen to local experts or to local concerns, but listens to Beijing about how to handle the virus, then being part of one country is a real downside. And the two systems part doesn't really seem to be working. So I think the contrast between these 2 years of the rat is pretty dramatic.